and welcome to the Terrorform podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Kristin.
This is Donnie.
And I'm Erin.
And we're here to make the world a creepier place.
Happy Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
This fly just landed directly on my face exactly when I said that. I so hope it picked up on the camera.
I missed it.
It landed. Oh, it's getting you.
Oh no!
We have been having a Friday, even though this is released on Wednesday. Obviously, we're recording this on Friday the 13th, and we've been having some luck today. Some freaking luck, man. And we're rusty because you guys didn't see it because we had episodes in the bank, obviously. But this is our first time doing this in 2 weeks.
Dang, that fly's getting aggressive. This whole time it's been in here, and now it wants to get to our face.
Yeah. I'm already clammy.
God, look at this freaking thing. We are.
So bear with us. We're struggling.
We are struggling.
We're poor. Give us money.
Please send us some money. We're going to link all of our Venmos and Cash Apps and all that stuff in the description, please, because here's the thing. I posted something to the Instagram/Facebook story where I said, hey, you guys tune in next week and you'll see some new video and some new audio. But we would like to say you're welcome, audio listeners.
You're welcome. Hopefully. Maybe.
Yeah, hopefully this is.
It sounds good on our end.
Donnie bought some new audio equipment and some new mics. They sound good to us right now. We'll see afterwards.
So hopefully it's translating on y'all's end.
Yeah, we'll see post.
But then I bought some video cameras, and I obviously couldn't afford the multi-$1,000 ones. But I bought some that had good reviews, and they came in, and they were worse than the phones that we were using originally. So those are going back to Best Buy tomorrow. We will be leaving a review.
Dang.
And obviously our middle camera is still our good camera here. I did get a new phone, so maybe the quality will be better. And then the other phone always had pretty good quality as well. So hopefully these two phones' quality at least matches. The trash quality phone is out. And eventually we will have camcorders. But again, send us money.
Coming at the...
Send us money, please. We want good cameras.
Can't take you serious with that hood. At the... Whatever you did, I can't do the rolling R's.
Ew. Moving on.
So, just wanted to get all that out in the air, you know.
Yeah, we got
Update.
Jeff Goldblum attacking us.
Oh, yeah. Freaking Goldblum in here, you guy.
The fly
The
for
fly.
those who
don't know.
Yeah, the fly.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, audio listeners. We got a fly attacking us.
Yeah, there's a fly attacking us. Friday the 13th, you know.
Welcome.
Michael Myers is on the loose, even though it's supposed to be Jason.
Yeah.
If you guys don't know that story, there's a bus that there was a criminal who was arrested for murdering someone with a pickaxe.
Yeah. And he has an attempted murder.
And an attempted murder.
Charge as well.
And he was being transported on a white bus. Sound familiar? And he attacked and... Did he kill the driver?
I don't think so. I just heard he was
But
attacked.
he stabbed him with a shiv for sure.
Yeah.
And then they shot at him with shotguns and either missed him or he was freaking hit like Michael Myers and just kept walking.
See, that's what I don't know. Because apparently the one, I guess, CO that was there shot the tire, and that's why he only was able to drive like 2 miles. And then he tried shooting the escapee, and he's like, oh, I think I hit him enough times, he'll be fine.
What the heck?
Well, you see, I worked for the prison.
In Texas.
Yeah, TDCJ, and we're trained to shoot to kill. Like, you make sure they're dead.
Jeez,
because
Louise.
if they're an escaping inmate, you know, they're basically sentenced to death. But most of the officers weren't comfortable with that thought, so they either wouldn't shoot or just shoot like random splats. But I'm like,
on purpose.
yeah, I'm like, bro, that's a free pass.
No, Donnie.
Oh, no.
They have some humanity in them.
My brother's in prison, god dang it.
No, but you gotta think, like, these people are like a danger to society. So, I mean, it's kind of like, think about your family being in danger.
Yeah.
Try to, like, take that mentality out, I guess. But there's a $15,000 reward, and we're going to get it.
And we're going to have all new equipment. If we have new equipment without your donations, you know why.
Yeah. We caught the guy.
Yeah. If you tune in and you're like, dang, this freaking quality is amazing. That's why.
You know why.
That's why.
We some detectives out here.
Well, I guess I'll get into the main story for the episode, which is a story from someone who's going to remain anonymous. But it is someone that I know, and super spooky story. So let's get right. What was that knocking?
That's my spine.
Your spine?
I can hear the fly in the mic.
That's like my neck and my
Can you
spine.
really?
I did. I just heard it.
Friday the 13th. Hey, it is what it is. Content. This fly is giving us content.
Yeah.
Okay. So the main story here. We're going to test you guys' knowledge on what you learned from our How to Survive a Haunted House episode 2. This woman lives alone in a small 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom home. She was enjoying her evening watching Big Bang Theory on TV when she began to hear what sounded like a low growl. She mutes the TV, sits up in her chair, and continues to hear this growl. She thinks there must be a dog or something outside of her house, but what's it growling at? She stands up and follows the growling all the way into her bathroom and notices that it appears to be coming from the drain in her shower. She stomps her foot and it stops.
Bugging up.
It's too dark to go outside and investigate, but the growling has stopped. She's thinking most likely some kind of animal has crawled under her house. She'll deal with it tomorrow. She finishes watching TV and goes to bed. The next day, she tells her daughter about what she heard last night and that she probably needs to check if there's an opening for an animal to squeeze under her house. Her daughter says, "I told you your house was haunted,"
Dang.
referring back to when this woman had first moved into this house and her daughter and her boyfriend stayed the night, and they both swore that they kept hearing someone walk behind them while they were sitting on the couch. The mother says, "Oh, so what now? A ghost is growling at me? Come on." So here's where we're testing your knowledge. If you hear growling and it's supernatural, what is it?
3, 2, 1. Put your answers in the comments.
Demons! Demons! It's
Did
demons!
you figure it out? If you said a poltergeist, shame on you.
Yeah, leave a comment if you got it right, or if you got it wrong. Let us know what you thought it was.
Or if you didn't even.
Or if you were like, what are you talking about? Then go watch the freaking video, you know?
Yeah.
It's a demonic haunting. Demons growl at you.
Meow.
So she goes back to her house that afternoon, walks around and finds that there is indeed an open crawl space area with a piece of wood that should be blocking it, but it was knocked over. She carefully looks under the house. She doesn't see anything, and she puts the piece of wood back in its place. That fly landed right on my head, boy. So she puts the piece of wood back in its place. That night, she's back to watching TV, and at the exact same time as the night before, she hears growling. For just a minute, she starts freaking herself out, thinking about what her daughter said, but then she brushes it off and gets up to go stomp and hopefully stop the growling again. She does, and it does. The next day, she moves the wood back over, thinking something must still be under there. We gotta get this freaking fly. This goddamn mother freaking fly is taking the spookiness right out of this freaking story. Jesus
At first I was
Christ.
like, okay, it's kind of cool when it's like flying around.
But now
You
it's
can kinda hear
landing
it.
on us and getting near us and crap. Jesus Christ.
I was like, ooh, it's got a cool ominous like sound going on.
Where's that?
It just flew that way. Oh,
It's right next to
no,
me.
it went behind you.
Oh my god, flies. Aren't they signs of demons?
Oh no, the haunt is getting worse. Oh, guys, I think we figured out what that banging was that we heard in this back room. There is a dead tree in our neighbor's yard, right up against our fence, and it's been dropping limbs, and they've been hitting our fence. So I think that's what that banging noise has been.
Debunked.
No ghosts.
You wish.
Really?
Oh, it just went that way.
Come on.
Oh, there it is. We need a leash.
Come on, fly.
A leash.
Fly, come on.
Well, lasso.
God, this is killing me.
I can't even see
Now I don't
it.
even know where it went.
Maybe
Somebody
it flew
disturb
out.
it.
Be quiet. Let's see if we hear it.
Yep.
A few moments later.
The mother says, "Oh, so what now? A ghost is growling at me? Come on." She goes back to her house that afternoon, walks around, and finds there is indeed an open crawl space area with a piece of wood that should be blocking the area, but it was knocked over. She carefully looks under her house, doesn't see anything, and puts the piece of wood back in its place. That night, she's back to watching TV, and at the exact same time as the night before, she hears growling. For just a minute, she starts freaking herself out about what her daughter said, but then she brushes it off and gets up to go stomp and hopefully stop the growling again. She does, and it does. The next day, she moves the wood back over, thinking something must still be under there to be causing the growling, and she may need to call her landlord about it eventually. But this was the type of landlord who does the bare minimum, and she didn't have much hope that he would help out, so she wanted to try to handle it herself first if she could. For the next few nights, she continued to hear the growl, always around the same time, and it became a routine to start stomping, and then it would stop. One night, it even stopped as she was approaching the bathroom drain. A few more nights go by, and she doesn't hear anything. She makes sure she goes and places the wood back in front of the opening, thinking the animal must have finally crawled out and found a new home. That night, she's kicked back in her chair, watching Sheldon say bazinga or something. And she once again hears the growl. Only this time, it sounds lower. She mutes the TV, walks over to her shower drain, and stomps like she's been doing. But the growling doesn't stop. It gets louder. She stomps again. The growling begins changing its tone. I was trying to hold it together. Live sound effects. That's audio listeners. What's happening right now is live sound effects. Okay. She stomps again. The growling begins changing its tone. Getting high and then low. And she begins stepping away from the drain when she realizes that this growling almost sounds human. Hey, baby. She feels her blood run cold. She starts backing away from the drain as the growling just continues and continues and continues. She sits on the edge of her bed wondering what she should do. Surely she'd sound like an insane person if she called the cops and said, "I think there's a man under my house growling at me." But then she gets an idea. What if I faked the call? Would that scare him enough to leave? She grabs her phone, walks a little closer to the bathroom and says, "Yes, 911? This is gonna sound insane, but there's a man under my house." The growling instantly stops. She continues. He's growling like an animal right under my shower drain, but I can tell it's a human because no animal sounds like that." She goes on to read out her address and says, "Okay, please hurry." She then crawls into bed and proceeds to lay there terrified for the rest of the night, unable to sleep a wink. The next morning, she goes outside, walks to the side of her house where the crawl space opening is, and she sees the piece of wood appears to have been knocked over from the inside. Was this an animal that was growling loudly because it was stuck under the house and finally busted its way out? Was this a supernatural entity toying with this woman, trying to drive her to insanity? Or was it the scariest monster of all, a human being
Man.
living under her house, watching her through the shower drain? And since he is no longer comfortable living under her house, has he moved on to living under yours?
Oh.
Why would you leave us with that?
Sheesh. My house built on concrete. Ain't getting underneath.
Ooh, that's been like a little bit of a fear of mine, finding out like someone's been living in my attic or in a crawl space or something.
Yeah, that it is. It more are supernatural things more terrifying, or a human being more terrifying?
Human.
I agree entirely.
Like with supernatural, there's you can have the denial, you can have the hope of it going away, and usually it's not as physical. If a human's there, there's a chance you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Yep.
Especially with me being tiny, I ain't got no chance.
No, yeah, girl, me neither.
Yeah, it's freaking
Straight
terrifying.
taking over.
And there are plenty of stories out there too of people who find people living in their houses.
I know, that's
Yeah.
so scary.
I actually found one I would like to share with y'all.
Okay.
Sheesh.
This one resonated with me a little bit, like as in like the creepy factor. So this is a true story, and it was on the local news of this area.
This area?
Not this area. I'm sorry, of the story.
Okay.
In the area of the story. I probably worded that poorly. Anyway, in 2019, a female student at the University of North Carolina in Greensboro realized...
not our area.
Yeah, no, it's pretty far away. Realized that some of her clothes had gone missing.
Ew.
She also found handprints. Ooh.
Dirty ones only, boy.
Dirty ones only.
She also found handprints on the bathroom wall. She told her roommates about this, and they all decided that it was a ghost. Because this was like stuff, I think it had been happening over a few days at least. And so they, decided, their house was haunted. That's why stuff was going missing.
I
And there was
go to like
handprints
be more
on the
logical.
wall.
Like, oh, my washer's eating though. Or I'm just like putting them in weird spots, like missing the basket or something. I don't know. With a ghost. I mean, we're a paranormal channel and we're like, oh no.
Yeah, it wasn't that crap. Come on now.
Well, it's worse
Humans
than
are more
misplacing
scary.
them.
Yeah.
So, later on, like I guess a few days later, after hearing what she thought sounded like a raccoon wrestling around in her closet, kind of like
your
what I
story.
experienced. So, this freaks me out.
Check
Like,
back.
what if this is what
Episode,
happened?
was it 14?
Something like that.
Like 2 episodes ago?
What's in the
I
closet?
don't even know how many. Yeah, I just know the
What's
title.
in the closet? That's the title. Look up
Yeah,
What's in
it
the
was
Closet.
14
Terrorform
because
podcast.
Yeah.
15 was with Cameron.
Yep. So episode 14, go refer back to that.
Kristen heard something in her closet. Could have been a human being.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, we even mentioned that. We said, what if it
Yeah,
was the
'cause-
stalker
Yeah,
stalking
Oh,
your
yeah.
sister?
JC
Yep.
Stalker.
Oh, which I forgot to get more details about that story.
Call her
So-
live on here. No.
So she heard what she thought sounded like a raccoon wrestling around in her closet. But she decided to say, she called out, "Who's there?" And to her surprise, she heard a man say, "Oh, my name is Drew."
No, ew.
That'd be me crapping my pants
So,
if someone
yeah, like-
actually responded.
I think at that
Who's
point,
there? Drew.
I would have just walked out of the room or the house. Like, 'cause
I
I think she
would've
was staying in
ran.
like a house or something.
Holy God.
So instead of walking away, she walked to the closet and opened the door.
Nah,
And
girl.
She saw a man standing in there wearing her clothes. He also had a bag with him that he was putting more of her clothes in.
He's like,
Nice.
don't mind. Oh gosh. Whoopsie daisy in the mic.
Handy
But
bandit.
he's like, yeah, don't mind me. And he's still
Just
like
taking
putting
clothes.
clothes in there while she's like staring at him.
Oh, it's Drew.
It's
how you
just,
doing?
yeah, these are mine.
Yeah, it gets pretty weird. So like at some point, I guess she was able to call her boyfriend, and he called the cops to come. But like while
Wait,
she
Why
was,
didn't she call the cops?
I don't know what her train of thought was here. Like maybe she was
That
scared
seems
if
to
she
be-
made too like much movement, he was going to attack her. So I think she was just trying to stay calm and keep the situation calm.
That does seem to be a common theme, though, in like a lot of the stories I listen to or read. They always like call their parents, and the parents call 911. It's like, why do you
Well, if
not
there's
just
an
call-
attacker in your house, like I don't think you want them to know you're calling the police because then it might escalate things. So they're trying to, send the signal out to someone they trust to call the police.
that makes sense.
Not here, boy.
So like that's what I'm getting from the way that she was acting in this situation.
I don't know.
We all like prison guards here, boy. Shoot to kill. I repeat, shoot to kill.
Welcome to America.
Now, while she waited for the police to come, she was talking to him, and he proceeded to try on her hats and tell her that she was pretty, that he wanted to give her a hug, although he never touched her.
Dude's
And-
mental.
Boy was bricked up.
Yeah.
And
he was
then,
thinking
like-
he was going somewhere with that till the Chris Hansen arrived.
He said, "Look, she's not reacting really. I kind of expected her to call the cops. I guess she kind of likes it. Can I have a hug?"
But
Thanks
yes.
for not calling the cops
Where's
on
my
me.
Ew.
Where's my hug?
So yeah, the police
clothes.
eventually arrive and apprehend the guy, and he went to prison.
Spooky.
Or jail. Or
Dang.
It was Donnie all along. Drew and Donnie, the 2Ds.
What?
2D.
Drew.
Well,
Double
like
D,
Drew,
boy.
Drew and
Drew and Donnie. Yeah, that's freaking terrifying.
I know when I was going to college at Sam and I had an apartment, the one that I said I kept seeing shadow figures, the gated community, you would think being in a gated community it feels safer, but people were still getting in. And I heard this one story
Like
where
me.
a girl woke up and a guy was standing in her room watching her sleep.
That is like
The
At your
worst.
complex?
yes.
I don't remember exactly if it was mine or one of the neighboring ones,
Oh,
but a lot of them were gated.
it was definitely me.
It was
Oh,
not, yeah.
Donnie was the
Don't
local
be
creep.
saying that.
Edward Cullen.
Nah.
But I remember a kid did get stuck. Like he came into our apartment area and he couldn't get out because the gates closed on him and he started freaking out.
Who?
It was like
Me?
it was a
Oh.
kid, like a teenager, like a preteen. And he had like walked in while the gate was opening and then it ended up closing. He started freaking out because he was like, I'm not supposed to be in here and I can't
He
get
thought
out.
he was gonna get in trouble.
Yeah.
I too found a story
Mhm.
on Reddit / No Sleep
No sleep.
from Concupiscent Bunny.
Cuck bunny.
Cuck Bunny.
Con
Cuck Bunny 92. Let's go.
Concupiscent Bunny. Concupiscent? Concupiscent.
I would think it's concupiscent.
We gotta give it to our
Concupiscent.
Concubine.
So
our, what's it
basically,
called?
the story's called
Vocabulary girl.
Yeah.
Someone Has Been Living in My House with Me and I've Only Just Found Out. It says, I bought the house 2 years ago. It's old, 120 years old, blah, blah, blah. It creaks, everything else, you know. Her bedroom's her least favorite. The sounds I hear when I'm trying to sleep are what set me off. The house creaks, not the normal creaks an old house makes on its own. It creaks like somebody's walking around. I hear shuffling, but it wouldn't be rats or vermin. Whatever's making that noise sounds like it is at least twice my size. Still, for a while, I'd convinced myself that it's nothing, or the wind, or my cat. but last week changed my assumption. I came downstairs to use the bathroom, and that's when I saw it. A swift shadow moving past the fireplace, still lit from earlier. Before I went to bed, the fire was low enough to die out on its own. I stared into the flames, bright and blazing and intense, and I went back to bed.
What is it with this guy?
I didn't hear any more creaks for the rest of the night, but it started up again last night. I set up animal traps everywhere, so whatever it was would be caught, but I had no luck. I stayed up watching my living room, curled up under blankets and tucked into a small storage room under my stairs. The only light was the fire. That's when I saw it again. Him. A man dressed in an old gray alumni sweatshirt and black sweatpants. He had socks on and my Chinese takeout leftovers in his hands.
Oh my god.
That's how my food's been disappearing. He looked comfortable. Too comfortable.
Yeah, I bet he did.
This person sounds like he's losing it.
And he confirmed my suspicion that he was twice my size. I'm a small woman, and this man was a
I thought it was a
tower
guy this whole time.
in
Hey,
comparison to me.
We're all sexist, even the women.
I'd never be able to survive if I confronted him. So I sat in my little cubby hole, shivering and staring until he went back upstairs, and I went to bed. The morning I would not have went to bed.
Yeah, really? What?
The morning after, I searched in my attic.
Did you?
I never checked in my attic when I moved in. The reason why is because I didn't feel the need to. Why would anyone live in my attic? We've never had a problem with pests or rodents, so I didn't need to open up the attic to see if a pest problem lied there. There was just no reason to go into it. When I went in there, I found a bed, a futon on the floor next to the window. It was just a mattress on the floor with 3 blankets on top. It looked freshly slept in. On the wall opposite the one with the futon, there was a clothing rack with men's clothes hanging from it and grass-stained blue sneakers beneath it. There were trinkets and pictures everywhere. Some pictures were of me. I was effing horrified. I took pictures and promptly drove to the police station to show them. I'm staying with my mom until something happens.
Yeah.
God, I can't stop trembling. I'll update when we get this.
I don't know why you stayed in the house.
That's what I'm
Jesus.
saying.
Come on, man. Girl. Come on, girl.
Manga.
That's like this story that I heard on another podcast, and I can't remember what it was. But if you know what it is and you're listening, then leave it in the comments. But there was someone who told a story about someone who heard something in their attic, and they called the cops like immediately because I guess she was just freaked out. And she said the cops told her, "We can't, like, why are you calling us? Like, what's your suspicions? There's an animal in your attic? Like, call animal control." And she was like, "Okay, but I'm worried it might be like somebody." And she said the footsteps sound like too heavy. And he was like, "It's probably an animal." And the 911 operator said, "Do you have like a selfie stick?" And she said, "Yeah." And they were like, stick your phone on the selfie stick and stick it up into the attic and just take a picture if you're too scared to go up there. Just like put it on video, bring it, and bring it down and look at it. So that's what she did. She stuck her phone on the selfie stick. She brought it up, took a picture, brought it back down, and there was someone looking directly into the camera.
Yeah, screw that.
I think I would pass out after
I know.
Good Lord. And on this podcast, they posted the picture of the freaking person looking into the camera. And so, yeah, she freaking told the cops, like, it's someone. And so they sent people over, and it was like a homeless guy who had been living in her attic.
It wasn't a homeless guy that had been like causing problems like before,
No.
like breaking into people's houses.
Yeah, they said that he does this. Oh, does he do this?
Gross.
Jesus.
Ew.
Insane.
Donnie had a freaky encounter last Sunday.
Oh,
You want to talk about that?
Last Sunday.
The shadow.
That wasn't Sunday.
Yeah, it was. Because it was right before we had to go back. Because we came back from HEB. Because we went to their house to pick up
That
the
wasn't
amp.
last Sunday though.
Well, yeah, the Sunday before. I guess if you want to be technical.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So we were gone last Sunday.
Yeah.
So you
Which
had
we
some
have a story
spook?
to tell too about our vacation.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, I had something happen. Which reading that because I didn't read it fully. I just skimmed through it again, like the last Reddit stories I've done. But
That's what made me think of it was your story.
She said that she saw a black shadow shoot across from the lighting of the fireplace or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I was like, dang,
Well-
Donnie had that happen.
Yeah, so maybe there's somebody living in Erin's.
Oh man.
Mm-mm.
So it was like the Sunday that my parents had left, and we were doing clothes, and it was already really late. And well, we weren't doing clothes at the time, right? Because
No, I was because
but-
I had put them in the dryer, but I
but you were
went
getting
to
me
get
a snack,
a late night
a
snack,
late night snack.
a ruby doo.
Cheddar.
Ruby
It
dooby.
was a cheddar cheese stick.
So she got some dry sausage.
At like 10 o'clock at night.
And so she broke me off a sliver of that little dry sausage, and I was like, sure would go good with some cheddar cheese right about now.
Get you some cheddar cheese.
So I was like, hey, you want some cheddar cheese with this thing?
Get you some cheddar cheese.
She said, no. I said, all right, I'll go get me some because I want some. She
That's
said,
right.
well, get me some. I was like, well, you just said no. I said, all right,
That
I
thing
get
gonna
it.
taste good together, man.
So I go in the little hallway.
Little one.
It's only maybe a 6-foot span.
6 foot, man. That's a human person.
I flip the light switch for the hallway on, and this hallway opens to a living room, kitchen
Living
combined.
room, kitchen, man. Open concept, man.
And I flip the light switch for the kitchen. And as soon as the light flicks on, I see a black shadow shoot across the mirror of
Hell
the
no, man.
Buffet.
buffet that's
Hell
across
no, man.
from the hallway. So it's facing me. I see a black shadow that takes up the whole mirror, which is probably a good 8 to
No, the
10
mirror's
inches.
like this.
8 to 10
Yeah.
inches, man.
That's a foot.
That's long, man.
Okay, well, that's
I'd
a
say
foot.
about 10 inches.
About 3 inches is average, man.
But
It just hit me. I'm lagging.
But yeah, the black shadow started at the beginning of, so it basically went the whole span of the mirror, but it was
God
only a
dang.
section at a time. Like something,
Get closer to the mic.
like something went past it, and I was like, but I mean, I lagged, so I got to the fridge, and then the hairs on my neck started standing up, and I was like, I'm just gonna walk back to the room like nothing
Donnie
happened.
says, screw
No.
that shadow. He getting that cheese.
No, he scared me. He comes into the room and says something. He's like, I don't even remember what she said, but I was like, don't tell me.
I
don't
told him
wanna
I had
know.
like,
Oh, no.
or I told her I had like, I was like, I got chills.
Yeah, you're like, I got chills.
two
And I was like,
labels.
why? And you're just like,
multiplying, and I'm losing control.
Oh, no.
Yeah, sorry,
I'm
Donnie.
sorry if
It's a
anyone
fire.
has misophonia.
Mac and G, man.
But yeah, it gave me like chills. That I was
But
like,
too late.
I was
well,
like,
yeah,
You'd be a horrible Spider-Man. Your Spidey sense would go off way too late.
yeah. I got to the fridge.
Someone would get killed.
or I
Just see him.
it gave me goosebumps. That's right. I got to the fridge and I started thinking about it. I got goosebumps and my hair started raising, and I was like, grabbed the cheese, and I was like, I gotta casually walk back.
You can't show that you're panicking.
Don't show you're scared.
and then he
Ignore
tells me that. And I'm like, don't tell me in the morning. And then I'm like, no, what was it? Like, how bad was it? Did you see someone outside?
But I
And he's like,
walked from the
"No."
fridge to the hallway. I flipped the light switch off, and then that feeling really hits like something's behind you. Like, so I flipped that light off, and I flipped the hall light off, and I like speed walked into the room. And then I laid down like this under the covers.
And you were like facing me, kind of. You weren't even like facing out.
I was like, I just got
You
goosebumps.
start watching Butterbean
boy.
videos.
Butterbean videos.
I forgot. I think I was watching like
Butterbean.
But-
heavyweight, like
wrestling.
like Mike
Jackass.
Tyson,
Like boxing, not wrestling.
like all of Mike Tyson's heavyweight knockouts, stuff like
Yeah.
that, and then Butterbean came on.
Old Butterbean, man.
But yeah, that was the first experience I think I've had in a while.
Dang.
Most recent, at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
But it's been a while since I've had something.
So I have a confession to make.
Oh.
So like with it being Friday the 13th, I've
Uh-huh.
never seen a single Friday the 13th movie.
Whoa.
For
Whoa.
shame.
Whoa.
Donnie hasn't either.
Whoa.
Oh.
The
Okay.
only thing
Why
close
did
to
y'all
Friday
tell
the
us to put it
13th.
higher on the list on our watch list?
The only thing that I have seen regarding Friday the 13th is Freddy vs. Jason, because I used
Yeah,
to be obsessed with
same.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
He got a little.
This is.
Oh no,
bad.
no! I have seen Jason Goes to Space Camp.
Space
You
Camp?
can watch all the goofy.
You mean
ones.
Jason's Goes Space?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Well, I just added the camp because I thought it was gonna be funny. I thought that wasn't anywhere near what the name was. I just
Yeah.
thought it was
No.
Jason
You
in
actually got
space or
the
He
something.
went
name
to
right this
space.
time.
Okay.
I recall watching that when I was very young.
Yeah, I watched it at their
And he
house.
freaking, there was like two naked chicks in a
Yeah.
freaking sleeping bag. And
Yeah.
he killed. You remember that too?
Of course, that would be
My
the scene
favorite
that
scene.
stuck out to y'all.
My favorite.
Me and Donnie
scene.
was like,
We even gave the audio, so you know our audio listeners.
I think they could hear what
It's
was
a-
going on.
well, okay, first of all, you guys haven't seen the Alien movies we want y'all to see. And now y'all haven't seen Friday the 13th.
I've seen a lot of scary movies, but I
haven't
just haven't
seen-
seen like the mainstream.
I've seen
I'm
one.
Like the
hipster.
classics.
Yeah, I haven't seen like the classics.
One straight up Jason movie, just not Friday the 13th.
Okay, well, fun fact, I won't say when we watch the Friday the 13th movies, the first one, I don't want you guys to go into it disappointed, okay? Jason is not in the first Friday the 13th.
I feel like I've heard of that.
It's his mommy, okay?
Yeah.
I know, but why would that's the twist? You can't give it away.
That's not the twist, because you think about people who are watching it
You know how
for the
old
first
we are?
time.
We've already heard all the twists and
Yeah,
turns
yeah.
of Friday the 13th. It doesn't matter
And
if
plus-
you've seen it or not. You know how it goes.
Think of people watching it for the first time. They didn't dream of a freaking psychopath in a hockey mask killing people.
Sure,
Yeah.
that's not what they thought of. I'm sure they thought it
They
was.
had to give him a
They,
smart.
Not the
okay, that's true.
mother.
They didn't know who was doing the killing, but these guys definitely knew that because we posted a freaking meme on Mother's Day of Jason's mom hugging Jason. They definitely knew his mom killed at some point, but because I didn't watch Friday the 13th until like I'm trying to save them like what I felt because I didn't watch it like
You were
a
like
se-
confused and was like,
Yeah.
what was the hype about? Like, why is there a
Yeah,
hockey
exactly.
mask?
Because once I was old enough to actually watch horror movies, I was like, oh, I want to go watch all the Friday the 13th movies. And I watched the first one. I was like, where the heck is Jason? That's the freaking guy I remember from being young and killing all the naked chicks.
Yeah. Okay, viewers,
Beware.
no,
You're in for a
comment
scare.
like a well-known horror movie that like everyone has seen but you haven't seen, because these
There we
guys, we've seen Texas Chainsaw, and it was until recently that they saw Texas Chainsaw.
The original.
But
The original.
we did
The original.
watch the remake. So we saw a Texas Chainsaw movie.
The Texas
Not the
Chainsaw.
OG though.
Okay, but listen to me. I'm going to make a very controversial statement right now, and everyone in this room may disagree with
I know
me.
what you're talking
Everyone
about.
on the internet may disagree with me. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003 is the best Texas Chainsaw Massacre there is.
Now the OG.
2003, baby. You can't beat that movie. The freaking sheriff, the psycho sheriff in that movie, the freaking the freaking woman with the short haircut with the bangs right here, and she goes with the baby in her hand. She's mine. You can't beat any of
the
that.
gun reveal and the first
gun reveal,
act.
the freaking pulling it out of her vajayjay and shooting herself in the
Alright.
face. And here's the thing, you guys haven't seen the 03 one yet, so you can't even judge
I was
it.
gonna say we'll
Hey,
have to
now.
watch it.
So
So
now,
we can
yeah, I
get
just
a-
ruined the gun from the vajayjay.
There's a lot
For
of
everybody
we still,
watching.
we still have a lot of movies on our
Spoiler alert.
list
For
Yeah.
2003.
We had to
Yeah.
beep stuff
So
out.
like we used to watch
yeah.
like horror movies every Friday, and then we started
Mm-hmm.
doing this.
Yeah, that's how we first became close with each other. Obviously, Kristin and Donnie
Getting
are
drunk
cousins.
watching movies.
But you know, there was that time where they were just cousins. You know, like you
But
were
now they're more.
you were friends when you were younger, and then you grow up and you kind of drift apart. And what actually brought us together
I don't
to watch
know.
the horror movie?
Cameron.
Something happened.
The wedding.
The wedding.
That's
yeah, so we
right.
started doing
Cameron,
that.
who was our first
Brainstorming.
guest.
We
got-
kept having to brainstorm about the wedding stuff.
Yeah, we were like, oh yeah, what do we? Because we were gonna be original. I don't know
Well,
how much
Donnie
I
was
can
the best
say.
man.
Donnie was the best man. Cameron invited me and Donnie out to a bar and was like, Donnie, will you be my best man? Joshua, will you be a groomsman? And that happened. Me and and then Cameron ended up leaving. That's what happened. Cameron left. Me and Donnie got drunk together.
I had to come. I showed up
Erin
afterward.
came.
To pick me up.
But me and Donnie did some bonding when we were drunk. And, you know.
I
started
almost
watching
got
movies.
molested and into a fight.
Oh yeah,
Yep,
that drunk
that
guy.
drunk
He's
guy.
drunk.
Drunk guy.
He kept trying to
Yep.
bum cigarettes off of us, and of course we don't have any. We're like, dude, we don't. Yes, y'all
He
do
was
have
into
cigarettes.
Josh,
Yes,
though.
y'all do. Yes, he
He
was.
liked me. He liked me. He was like, I like your haircut. He was
Mm-hmm.
like, that man over there needs to get a haircut.
When his
But,
name like Trevor, or was it? No, it wasn't Trevor. It started with a T.
I can't remember at all.
I think it was.
But yeah, he kept trying to like fight you and kiss me.
Yeah, he did. He did kept trying to kiss you.
And Erin was like, he's bringing out that drunkenness bringing out some gay tendencies in him.
Yeah.
some suppressed
Well, then there was a girl
homosexuality
that he was
there.
with or trying to get with, and he was just like talking kind of gross about her. Like
Yeah.
trying to smash her. And I was like,
Yeah,
I'm going to
that's
go home
right.
with her.
We were getting uncomfortable. So that brought us closer together, and then we were like, we're all into horror movies. Let's start watching horror movies. So we put a list together of horror movies.
And many, many years ago, we watched The Babadook together. So I don't know if that started
Oh
it.
yeah.
Oh, that was
The
y'all
old
that we watched
house?
it with?
We were at
Okay.
Thanksgiving,
It's like Thanksgiving or
and we
Christmas
went
or something.
shooting. It was Thanksgiving, and then we went. Donnie had the gun. He was like, "You guys want to go shoot my gun?" And we all went and shot
Oh
the gun
yeah, out on your tank.
out on your land.
We
Yeah,
shot a gun.
yeah. We were
Yeah, I
shooting
don't
at a
remember
tin
this.
can.
Oh, I remember.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
that
we
was a long time.
It was
Yep.
super
And after
long
that, we
time.
watched the Babadook.
All the details are starting to come back to
Yeah.
Because I remember like the Babadook was like kind of new at the time.
Yeah.
Like it had just
Yep.
come out.
it. Just,
so
yeah, and there was a
everyone
bunch of hype
hyping,
around
yeah.
it, and we're like, "Hey, we
Let's
can
watch
get it
this.
on our TV. I want to like on our streaming service if y'all want to come over and watch."
Let me see when it came out. Babadook.
So while she's looking that up, we watched that, and then we did the years later. We got drunk.
2014.
2014.
Yeah.
Dang, that's so recent.
You think
It's like
I thought it was older than
I thought it was
that.
like
That's almost 10
2013.
years.
That's like 8 years ago.
No, don't say that. Was
It's
that almost 10 years?
2022. That's
It's 8 years
7
ago.
years ago.
8 years ago.
8 years, because it's 14, so 8 would be 22.
Oh, dang!
Oh, hell no.
Y'all are going, dang, and Kristen's going with the death stare.
Gonna find you in the bathtub passed out again.
Nah, dog, I'm good.
Yeah.
I know how to hold my liquor.
But like
What do you
speaking
mean
of
again?
Texas Chainsaw, tell about y'all's recent.
So yeah, well, to continue this the story, we
Okay.
started watching horror movies together, and then we came up with the podcast
Yeah,
idea,
'cause then
and so we
we-
stopped watching horror movies, and we need to get back on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss it.
This is taking over everything.
Every Friday.
Yeah,
It takes up a lot of time.
yeah, all the planning and
We had a
editing
huge
and-
list.
Yeah. So, but yeah, speaking of Texas Chainsaw,
One of the
Me-
greatest horror movies of all time.
yeah, especially the 03 one.
Hey,
So we
OG.
went. No, we went to the gas station, which is located in Bastrop, Texas. If you guys want to check that out, it's really cool. It's the gas station where the original was filmed. One of the
it's
locations
not a
it was
functioning gas station, but
No,
it's a store.
It's called the gas station because that's what it was in the movie. They still have all the original stuff outside, and you can even purchase, I think, like some planks that was used
Yeah,
in the movie.
and it's
with-
like $100 for like
Yeah.
a 2x4.
they
whatever it is.
autographed it and stuff like that. Because we actually, all four of us went for the first time together, we took a vacation to New Braunfels and floated the river and stuff. And on our way back, we stopped in Bastrop, and we can do some pictures in this podcast here. But that was fun, and we really enjoyed it because you go inside and there's all kinds of merch, like horror merchandise, not just for Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, like anything that you can think of, they have it.
Freddy Krueger, Scream, Halloween, all the freaking Gremlins. So all kinds of shirts, masks, figurines, full-bodied freaking figures, like so much cool stuff in there. And just like in the movie, you can buy barbecue from there, which of course in the movie they were cooking human meat, and maybe in real life they're cooking human meat because it was delicious.
It still tastes good. Yeah.
It was so good.
And it was cheap.
It was so cheap.
And surprisingly delicious. Like all of us were like, "Holy crap, this is actually really good."
Not sponsored.
Yeah,
Not a
that's fine.
sponsor.
But it was like
But you
super
should be.
cheap for like two of us. It was less than
like
$20.
14
It was like
to-
$14.
Yeah.
For
For two
pulled
people.
Yep.
pork, or not, was it beef?
I
Yeah.
got pulled pork,
Poured-
I think.
It was, the regular pulled
Yeah.
whatever
It was a
meat.
sandwich, like
Yeah.
a sloppy Joe
Yeah,
thing.
and it was that
Coleslaw.
with chips, coleslaw, and a
And
drink, all
Yep.
for freaking $14.
Good price and freaking delicious.
It was delicious too. Yeah, and they have a
Hot sauce?
like a, what was it? Ghost pepper hot
Yeah,
sauce.
yeah.
I got that. It was a good. It's got good flavor, but not as much heat as I thought it would. But
Yeah.
you know.
But it depends on the person.
Yeah.
Donnie loves hot sauce and stuff like that. So
And the people there like to joke around.
yeah,
Like they kept
the
joking that
cook.
Donnie was
Yep.
like gonna die from eating the ghost pepper, and that
Yeah.
they're gonna use him for
The meat.
stock.
Yep.
Yeah.
He came and gave us this whole spiel. The cook, when he brought our food out, he was talking about like, if you guys disappear here, I'm gonna call your car in as abandoned. I'm gonna tell the cops I've never heard of you, and like this whole spiel. It's like just go, and if he's there and he talks to you, then you'll hear the speech. I don't want to ruin the whole thing, but he's super freaking funny and like puts that spook into you. And there was a point where Donnie got up and went to the restroom, and the cook was like passing by to bring other people their food, and he looked over at us. He's like, 1 down, 3 to go.
Boy had the dummy rumbles.
That boy Donnie was in there.
He has
Did you-
IBS, had nothing to do with the food.
Yeah, had nothing to do with the food. He just likes
This
to
was I think this was before we got the food. Wasn't
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
We were waiting, and we were
Yeah.
all going to the restroom, and I was like, "Dang,
Yep.
I gotta go."
Yeah.
Hurry up, Kristen.
But I don't know if you mentioned, but they have the original van there too.
Yeah, the van is there. They have the truck.
We could
And
probably
then-
use the Polaroid for those pictures.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was about to say I
yeah.
have
That'd be
Polaroid pictures
cool.
so we can put it
Yeah,
on
make
the
sure you send me
Instagram.
those
Yeah.
those would be
so I can put those in.
Heck yeah.
Post it
And
to
then
the Terraform Institute.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
And then recently, they added the hooks that the
Yeah.
Leatherface hangs the people on with the buckets, and it's like it's fake hooks and the fake buckets, but it's right there where you eat. And so when me and Kristin went, we took pictures with like the hooks, pretending we're hanging on them and like we're dying and stuff like that. And so that was fun. But okay, so the story that happened was me and Kristin are on our way to
New Braunfels.
New Braunfels for vacation, right? And we stop in Bastrop. Before we leave, I email the people at the gas station. And I say, hey, we're on a road trip and we have our dog with us, small dog. And is it okay if the dog is with us if we eat there? Because the eating there is outside in the back, and then like the merchandise and stuff is on the inside. And she responds and she's like, yeah, no problem. Just bring her in the back with y'all and y'all can eat back there. It's fine. And so when we get there, we get out. We let our dog Juliet, or we call her Jules for short, let her drink some water. And we go walking her around. Instead of walking into the building first, we're like, let's walk around and then we'll find a table. Kristin was going to sit out there with her and I was going to go inside and order. So we walk around the building, we stop, we take some pictures with the van, we keep walking, we get to the back, and as we're walking to the back, under one of the picnic tables is a cat laying there just chilling under the table. And I pointed out, go, oh, there's a cat, let's go to this table over here. because there's a cat there. And the cat hears us walking up, and it looks up at us, and it stands up, and it starts walking towards us. And we're like, what the crap? And it goes, and we're like, oh my God. And then it just starts swinging on us. And then it goes to Jules, and it's like, boom, boom, boom. And starts swinging at her. And I don't think it was like getting closer, but it wasn't hitting her yet. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, this freaking thing. And so I put my freaking leg out in front of, I'm trying to block Jules from getting hit. And this thing starts scratching my ankle. And it's like, and it's just freaking
cat hits.
Yeah, it's swinging on me. And then I look up at Kristin because she's just watching the whole thing. And I'm like, pick her up. And so Kristin picks Jules up. And I'm like, okay, let's go back to the car. So we start going, and the cat's following us, and it's all walking sideways like and it's walking towards us and chasing us to the freaking car. So we get back to our car, and it just stands there and stares at us like, yeah, get in the car and leave. This is my territory. And so Kristin gets in the car. I'm like, I'm going to go inside and order because we're starving. We've been driving all day.
Y'all ran back to the car.
Yes, it chased us.
Yes.
They got you on camera. You need to ask for that footage.
I know.
Email them and ask them for that footage. Because I remember they had cameras.
There's cameras
like,
everywhere.
You need to go.
You're like, go back at this time and get to see something really funny.
You need to. Hopefully it stores it that long.
Yeah. I would think so.
Yeah.
It's been a week, so.
Yeah. So we get back to the car.
They might have looked at it and saved it.
Probably
themselves.
because they know about it, so they probably looked. Because Kristin gets in the car, and I'm like, I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna order some food, and I was like, we'll just eat in the car since the cat doesn't like us. And this thing is like, it looks like it's like an outdoor cat. Like I'm thinking at the time that it's feral. It's a feral cat, and so I go inside and I pick the menu up and I'm looking and I call Kristin. I'm like, hey, so they have this. Kristin's like, give me this. And I go up to the counter, I order, and she says, is it for here to go? And I say, well, we're going to eat here, but we're going to eat in the car. And she's like, why? And I was like, well, I said, we brought our dog and we went to the back and there was a cat and it attacked us. So we're going to eat in the car. And she's like, oh, Manson? And I'm like, oh, well, that's an appropriate name for that freaking cat. So Manson chased us out of the gas station. And so I'm like, I guess, yeah. I'm like, it's a cat back there. And she's like, Manson never bothers anybody, really? I'm like, yeah. I said, it's fine. It swung on us. It's the cook, which was a woman this time instead of the big dude that was when we all went. She comes out. She's like, no. She goes, yeah, Manson doesn't like dogs. And she's like, I've seen Manson go buck up to some dogs before. And I'm like, yeah, he bucked up and chased us to our car.
Bucked up?
Yeah. And she's like, we're so sorry. She's like, we'll take him and we'll lock him up and y'all can go eat back there. And I was like, we don't want to be a burden. Like, it's fine. We're not mad or anything. And she's like, no. We'll take him and we'll lock him up. Y'all go eat. And so I was like, okay. So I placed the order and I go out and I get Kristin. I'm like, hey, they're going to lock Manson up. And Kristin's like, huh?
Lock Manson up.
So we go around. We tied Jules up, we eat, we take pictures, and we were good. Manson didn't bother us. But yeah, Manson chases out of the gas station.
Meow.
Meow.
Oh, gross.
Sound like you hacking up a hairball.
So we probably don't have time this episode because we've been going a while, but something I think that we should start doing. I haven't brought up to you guys yet, but have you guys heard that their Congress is officially doing like a court thing with UFOs?
What do you mean a court thing with UFOs?
They are
putting aliens on trial.
They're
Yeah, I was like, what?
they're declassifying some information, And basically,
So they're
Space
deciding what's
Force.
gonna- oh, go on.
Space Force is, and this is what makes it controversial to me, because this was my thought. But Space Force is basically coming out and saying, this is something serious the American public needs to know.
Needs to know.
Jesus Christ.
Bless you. Bless you.
This is something serious the American public needs to know. This is a serious threat, and we need to handle the situation. And so the thing that came into my mind, though, is that I don't trust the government 100% on anything. This could just be them. We want money.
Monday.
So if you put fear in the public, then you can get the money you need. So they're like trying to get some, like, hey, we need more funding because this is a serious situation. That's the first thing that came to my mind.
So, like, we can keep up with the hearing.
What's wrong with you? You farted or something?
No.
Why are you laughing?
That boy's sweating. He dying over there.
I'm daydreaming.
Daydreaming.
Yeah. You sneezing, I just imagine you. When you sneeze, like you just start throwing up.
Why would I throw up?
I don't know, but that's what I was picturing.
So you think it's so funny and then it actually happens and you're like the first one to run
Well, that's
off.
what I was laughing at. Like, he would be like, and then I'd be like, I would take off running, and everybody would be like, and I'd be puking everywhere.
Oh, God, it'd be all over the house.
Exactly.
So here's a quick thing about it. The article comes from Politico. One of the greatest mysteries of our time, Congress to hold UFO hearing next week. A House committee will hold a public hearing on UFOs next Tuesday. So by the time you're listening to this, it was yesterday that they held the hearing.
Sheesh.
For the first time in decades, as Congress presses the Pentagon and other national security agencies for more answers on reports of mysterious aircraft violating protected airspace. The session before the House Intelligence Committee's Counterintelligence and Counterproliferation Subcommittee, Jesus, that's a lot of big words, comes 5 months after the National Defense Authorization Act required the military to establish a permanent UFO research office and take a series of other steps to collect and investigate reports of unidentified aerial phenomena, which is, oh yeah, you're wearing your alien shirt.
Alien shirt.
Perfect.
So I forgot to wear it on Aliens Part 2.
Unidentified aerial phenomena, by the way, is the new word for UFO. So it's UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena. And I was like,
UFO's offensive.
see, that's what I was thinking, and I was like, what? Why? And then the explanation I got was that it's because unidentified flying object
They're not an object.
narrows it down to just an object versus a whole phenomenon, because anything can happen aerial
Yeah.
instead of just an
baseball
object.
flying
So this
pants
makes it
in
more
your-
broad, basically. The American people expect and deserve their leaders in government and intelligence to seriously evaluate and respond to any potential national security risks, especially those we do not fully understand, is what Representative Andre Carson said in a statement on Tuesday. Since coming to Congress, I've been focused on the issue of unidentified aerial phenomena as both a national security threat and interest of great importance to the American public. Yada, yada, yada. So it's really interesting how the government has taken a big interest in freaking aliens lately.
UFOs.
Yeah. I'm trying to get our minds off of other
Yeah.
things.
They're not saying it's aliens. Like, no one that we know of can do these things, but, so they're saying there's a chance it is Earth.
It's UAPs.
UAP.
It's the UAPs.
I saw UP.
Yeah, it rolls
If
off.
you-
the
Yeah, I
tongue.
was gonna say it rolls off the tongue a little better.
Yeah, it's a lot smoother.
Did y'all notice the t-shirt behind us?
Oh, Terrorform Podcast, a t-shirt.
What?
What?
Our faces are on it.
Our faces on it. You can get it by DMing us? Is that what you said?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, you can.
We only have like 3.
We're not gonna
And
get
2 of them,
anyone to DM
I
us.
know.
You can get it by DMing us. What?
What?
It may take a couple weeks, but you'll get it.
Months?
What? Maybe a year?
Terrorform podcast. Hey, send us your t-shirt
Podcast.
ideas. If you want to see a t-shirt
With my butthole.
with us
No, that's
with something other than our faces on it, tell us what you want to see. Maybe it's a catchphrase that you've heard. Maybe it's yo mama, yo daddy, yo dog is made famous by Erin. Maybe
yes, I did
it-
something.
Go ahead and tell her Erin,
Tell your mama, your daddy, your dog.
about the Terrorform podcast.
Terrorform. Maybe it's something that one of us has said that I can't think of right now.
There's a bunch of stuff.
We've all had a bunch of
Uncanny.
phrases. Maybe it's
We're here to
uncanny.
make the world a creepier place.
Maybe it's we're here to make the world a creepy. Maybe it's
Stay
hashtag
spur-
sorry audio listeners.
Or just even like our topics. Like, you know, we did some doodles of the smiling man.
Yeah, you want to see some of the artwork on t-shirts? Let us know.
Yeah.
Let her know.
But make sure you send in your creepy stories and all that and your artwork, and we'll post it on our Instagram with credit to you. You can send those to us on any social media site through a message, or you can send it to our email address, which is
Terrorformpodcast@gmail.com.
Good job.
And with that, we are going to call it quits, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that camera looks like it's about to die.
We're going to
Make it creepy.
make it creepy.
Yeah, where spooky can
Make
be
it
fun.
spooky.
Or where
Spooky
I
can be
can't remember.
fun.
The
And you
creepy
can-
to spooky.
And you can always make sure that you stay
I like how the camera died.
Right?
as we were doing that.
It was like right in the middle.
We're going to have to go side by side with these.
Yeah, I know. Bye.